Hi, I'm Mac McCarty, and I help people with their breakups. And today, I got the daylight coming through the window. I opened up the windows here, so we got a little shine, which is just fine because we're going to shed the nice guy syndrome today. And this has come up for me in live coaching sessions, and it's obviously an issue for a lot of guys out there. And a lot of times it's turned into a beta masculine thing. And there's some truth to that. There's absolutely some truth to that, being a beta male or this or that. But I would rather tackle it from a different standpoint because beta's been made into this very, very negative narrative. And I don't think people are born beta or they're born in a way where they want to be nice to everyone or to be overly nice to women. And sometimes, someone going out and go, oh, this guy's just beta. He just doesn't get it. He's so weak and needy. He acts like a woman. It's a little deeper than that. There's more nuance to it. It's not that simple. And it's certainly not that simple for someone just to go, oh, you know what? I've been acting this way. I'm going to go get a surfboard, grow my hair out and get a little more masculine, or I'm going to go get a Harley Davidson. Some people do this. Harley Davidson, cut off my shirt, cut off the sleeves of my shirt, get some tattoos, and now I'm masculine. That's called overcompensating. Yeah, that's a good point, Monica. And I think that they get intertwined sometimes. And I don't have a problem with it. I just think that this term beta has been thrown around a lot on YouTube and a lot on websites. And so the minute someone slams that on top of someone, it's extremely negative towards them, and it's hard for them to shed that. Whereas if you say like, oh, I got nice guy syndrome, actually being a nice person is not a totally bad thing, right? And it's something you can work on. It's certainly not highly attractive to women overall, although some women do like a nice guy in a long-term relationship because they'll rule the roost and they'll get their way and they'll do what they want. And if you've been around long enough, you've witnessed relationships like this where the guy's doing everything, anything that the wife wants, and it's a bit pathetic, but the wife plays a role also, right? And she likes that role in some cases. She might complain about it or whatnot, but in reality, it takes two to tango in any relationship and any dynamic. So a really good book I'm going to go into detail. No More Mr. Nice Guy by Dr. Robert Glover. I think he wrote this book. He wrote this book 20 years ago or something like that. And the information in it directly applies to if you're being too nice. And what's nice about it is he talks about his own journey and his own brick walls. I think he has 2 divorces actually where he was being the nice guy and he didn't realize it. I mean, I heard in one interview, he says he gets divorced. He has this toxic sort of marriage, whatnot. He's got a great 6 months or a year with this woman. I don't know what it was actually, exactly the time frame. Hey, Mary. And he says at the honeymoon of this second wife, the wife goes during the honeymoon, oh, I'm glad we can both agree now that, sex isn't that great. It's not that important. Now we don't have to fake it anymore. And he said he was like, what? This is honeymoon. So basically the 6 months or a year prior to that, she had been faking the idea that and as I talk about this, I'll probably, go on about this for 10, 15 minutes like I usually do in the live streams. Please. Yeah, it is a serious statement. You love Mex, welcome. Please let me know your guys' opinion, or excuse me, your ladies' opinion on nice guys or overly nice guys. Monica's already chimed in, but anyone else out there, anyone watching this video after the live stream, please put it in the comments below. What's your experience with having a guy that was too nice? At what point did they cross the line of being too nice and where you had to go, yeah, this relationship's not going to work? Because what I find a lot of men go, oh, she just stopped calling me, or I don't know what happened. Right? And so give us your opinions. How can men overcome being too nice? Why do women not like it? Simple question for the women on this post. So I have some things written out. I'm going to get into it, and then I'll come back to the live stream and address questions, and we'll have our usual spirited chat, right? So shedding the nice guy syndrome, and I like the term shedding. It's like shedding a snake skin, right? First of all, you can't kill weeds without getting to the roots, right? You know, if you want to trim the weeds and just go, yeah, I'll get a new haircut. Yeah, I need to get more masculine. Yeah, and this is what happens a lot. So one of your buddies tells you to do a couple different things, maybe get some new clothes. That's not going to work. Okay, how you act as an adult is built into your subconscious, and so you have to get a little bit deeper on what your past experiences are. And this is something I'll do in a live coaching session. That's why I ask some questions that some people might be a little uncomfortable at first, and they don't have to answer them. But we need to get to the bottom of why you feel this way now and why it's dictating how you act and how you act with other people. And so there are roots to why you are being overly nice. Okay, so we have to get to the bottom. First step is to find these roots. And then there's triggers to being too nice, right? There's something from when you were young. Well, my mom always told me I had to get good grades. And so at work, if someone wants me to do something, I have to do it 110%. And whenever I bring my grades back home, my mom said A's weren't good enough. And so when I bring my work back, I over-deliver, and I still don't think it's good enough. So the trigger would be, you know, when someone asks you to do a task or something like that. Also realize that being too nice will hurt your chances with most women. But in some cases, because of it, you've done kind and compassionate things. It's not all bad. So this is kind of a different way to look at it. Because I think that being too nice is definitely going to hurt your chances with women, if not kill your chances if you're overly nice, right? And so it's something that you have to work on for yourself. But in the process, in the journey, I do not want you beating yourself up and saying, oh, I'm so weak and needy. No, I mean, there's some parts of being really nice that are good, okay? There's a lot of people that have service-type jobs, and because they're overly nice, they help people, okay? And so they need to make some tinkers. They need to do some things to change that about them, but they don't need to beat themselves up and say, oh, I'm just this beta, weak-ass person. For example, I had a live coaching session with someone over this last month, and he's a nice guy, and he knows it. And that book, No More Mr. Nice Guy, he said it suits me down to the boots. And he had a situation, I might have talked about this before, where he said there was a woman on a plane, and she was very, very ill. And I think she was having seizures. There was a lot of problems going on. He was very, very concerned about her. And he even walked her to her next gate at the next airport. You know, he went and got her water. He went and did all these things that a nice guy would do. Now, in that moment, for that individual as a human being, that's an outstanding human being being an outstanding human being to another one. That's compassion. That's not beta. That's caring. And in that moment, he got that woman's number and whatnot. Now, to keep that woman attracted, he wouldn't want to be at her beck and call, right? But in that moment, just being human, there are some good elements to being nice, okay? The positives are you are more caring and compassionate for others. The problem is the rest of the world can find this to be weak and in some cases take advantage of it. So long time ago when I was in college, I could have double majored in anthropology. I really enjoyed anthropology, which is the study of humans. So a lot of people like psychology, which I love. Study of humans, anthropology gets a little bit deeper in a different direction. But this anthropology professor I had that was teaching a class on North American Native Americans. Wow, it sounds funny to say. North American Native Americans. Really interesting class. He said it's human nature to take advantage where you can, when you can. And that always stuck with me. And some people say, oh, that's not true. That it is true in a lot of ways. It is true. Even if a nice guy syndrome guy, see how much he can take advantage of that guy. Right? So just keep that in mind. It's not that it's all bad to be nice, but you're going to get taken advantage of. Once that happens, once you get burned as a nice guy, you become wounded. You become the bird with one wing. And realize fully why it is, and you did nice things, you did everything right, you're trying to be pleasing, and you're not getting very good results. The reality is a lot of human beings will take advantage of that. A lot of human beings will look at that as weak, and it's not going to get you a lot of results because the world's competitive. There's people with ambition, and if they can find a way to take advantage or manipulate you, they will. They will. And we've seen this before. And that's why you need to shed the nice guy syndrome. Okay. Top 10 steps to getting out of the nice guy syndrome. If you want to take a moment to get your paper and pen out there, if you're just watching this video after the live stream, go ahead, because these are actually really good, I believe. Really, really good. So, top 10 steps to getting out of the nice guy syndrome. Number 1, No More Mr. Nice Guy by Dr. Robert Glover. Get the book, okay? I'll probably put it in the notes. Get the book. Get more books with more perspectives on being a man, on being more masculine, on overcoming this. But No More Mr. Nice Guy talks about this specifically. The Rational Male by Rollo Tomassi is a great book. Models by Mark Manson, if you're dating, is a great book. Tactical Guide to Women. See where I'm going with this? You want to double down on some knowledge. Not just, and a lot of people go, oh, I'll just get the notes somewhere. No, read the book. And I would start with that one. And The Rational Male is a different perspective, but it's good to have a different perspective. It's a different style. It gives you different nuggets. But all of this in the beginning of you just identifying, wait a minute, I'm way too nice. I'm getting bad results with women. I want to remodel who I am. Think about that. Number 2, take action. Don't accept the results of being too nice as just being you. A lot of times, well, this is just how I am. No, it was constructed based on your past life experiences and the story you gave them. We can always remodel who we are when we want it. It does take time. I'm sorry, I wrote that funny. We can always remodel who we are when we want to, just like a house, right? You want to remodel your house, you want to remodel your apartment, you can do it anytime. You can go down to IKEA, you can hire a contractor. What does it take? Time and money, actually. Let me add that to it. You remodeling who you are, overcoming nice guy syndrome, might cost you some money. And I'm not talking about you getting a nose job. I'm talking about you getting some books, getting a live coaching session, maybe getting some hypnotherapy. If you're going to go on offense and you're going to take this on, you're going to probably have to spend some money. Is it going to be $1 million? No, but it'll cost you a little bit of money. And if you're one of those people like, oh, I'm not going to spend the money on that. Okay, continue to be a nice guy and get bad results. Sometimes people sit in their angst, sit in their self-pity. Oh, I wouldn't spend money on that, but I'll go out and buy myself an expensive handbag, or I'll go out and buy myself, an expensive piece of art or something. Spend some money on who you are. Number 3, find the roots. Do a live coaching session with myself or someone else. And that would be the goal. Find the roots of this, man. I don't know where this is coming from. I don't know why I'm so nice. If you're thinking of present times, it's deeper than that. It's 20, 30 years ago. It's when you were a kid. Something happened, a thing of events. Dig those roots up. Find out what happened. Find out the stories. And then go, you know what? I was just a kid. I didn't know any better. Number 4, stop judging yourself. Sorry for this noise out here with these birds. This is annoying me. Open up the window today and it's noise pollution day. Number 4, stop judging yourself so harshly. Being too nice isn't a horrible thing. It just hurts you with women and getting what you want. So the fact that you've been nice for 10 years, 5 years, 6 years, 12 years, and you've had bad results, it's not all bad. I'd rather you be nice than a narcissistic person that's left wreckage and carnage in your wake. So don't be so harsh on yourself. Number 5, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for being too nice. Don't be hard on yourself. Number 6, work on your self-talk. If you're talking down to yourself, redirect that. Hang out with people that are supportive. Number 7, start affirmations, hypnotherapy, guided meditation, emotional freedom technique. I can talk about these further. I talk about them in coaching sessions. There are ways to combat your subconscious learning. And it starts with affirmations. It starts with hypnotherapy, guided meditation. These are all tools. These are all things I've used. And they really, really help redirect who you want to be. Number 8, treat yourself to something nice. Now, this is interesting, right? Because you're always accommodating being nice to other people. Go get yourself a really nice massage. Go to a spa. Get yourself a really nice haircut. Treat yourself to a really nice suit. Get yourself something nice when you're on the. Treat yourself. Be a little bit selfish. Okay. Treat yourself to a live coaching session with myself. Right. Oh, it's a little bit expensive for me. You know what? I'm trying to make a change right here. This is actually for me. Right. This is actually 100% for me, not someone else. And sometimes that throws people off when they're a nice guy. Number 9, hang out with guys you respect and those that support you. If you hang out with some masculine guys and they put you down all the time, they call you weak and they call you beta, that's not going to help you out. That's just going to reaffirm you believing that that's who you are. You hang out with some guys you respect that are masculine or have those elements, but they also support you. They also lift you up. And if you can't find those guys in the immediate future, then a coaching session works. Talk to someone weekly. Masculine energy is a guy like that. That guy Kyle, myself. Talk to someone that will support you once a week. I have someone I'm coaching right now that has nice guy syndrome, and he knows it. We're doing a bi-weekly coaching, right? And I can see the difference in talking to him. I believe we're on 3 calls now. I can see a difference in his comfort, his confidence, and the fact that he's being supported instead of just being told how weak and nice he is has really helped him, right? And I've been honest with him. Well, let's make these changes, and he's receptive about it. Number 10, stop being a victim. Write that down. Stop being a victim. Oh, I did this and I did that, and she still didn't call me. I don't know why she didn't call me. And I sent her a message and I sent her flowers. And then I told her anytime she wants to go out this week, I'm available. And I'm available, 24/7 if she needs to talk. Stop being a victim. Stop being weak. Get yourself up off the mat. Watch the movie Rocky. Watch Gladiator. Watch Braveheart. And these are movies. They're Hollywood productions. But just look at the guy's behavior. Are you going to become Rocky? Or are you going to become Gladiator? No. But what happens in those movies, every one of those movies, Rocky, Gladiator, Braveheart, and if you haven't seen them before, go ahead and watch them because they're outstanding movies regardless, right? The common ground, at some point in the movie, they're knocked down to the mat. They're in jail. They lost a fight, whatever. Not at one point do any of those guys become a victim. They're planning, they're plotting, and they're looking for their opening to overcome the situation. But at no point do they become a victim. Stop being a victim. And when you feel like you're being a victim or you have self-pity, stop that and give yourself some really good self-talk. All right, let's get into this, folks. So, hot day today. Oh man, that's a serious statement right there. I mean, personally, I don't want a jerk, but sometimes nice comes off as clingy. It does. It does. There's a fine line, you love Mex. There's absolutely a fine line. And you got to find it for yourself, right? My point is for the nice guys out there, don't beat yourself up. Make the changes. Make the calculated changes, if you will. And, it's not all bad. But at the end of the day, it's not attractive to most women. It's not going to hold attraction. You know that. Too nice is someone who doesn't have self-awareness, someone who is more a doormat. Okay? Yeah, I think that if you do something wrong as a man in a relationship and you feel like it's wrong, say sorry sincerely, one time, directly, and with good intentions, and that's it. That's a manly apology. Now, if you did something your partner feels like you did wrong, but you don't feel like you really did something wrong, then you need to talk that out and get to a point where you're like, I'm not going to apologize because I don't believe I did something wrong. I've been in this situation in relationships where I'm like, I didn't do anything wrong, so I'm not going to get into this with you. If you want to assume that I went out on Friday night and hooked up with someone or something like that and I didn't do it, I'm not going to sit here and state my case for an hour and play games because you're being insecure. I told you the truth. I told you it directly, and that's it. That's the end of it, right? And it's up to you what you want to believe. My ex-girlfriend has a new boyfriend, but she said at Facebook account, how can I find myself someday? He's gone. My ex-girlfriend has a new boyfriend. Well, if your ex-girlfriend has a new boyfriend, that's clarity for you to move forward at this point, and you shouldn't be tracking that because tracking that does what for you? How does that make you feel? I don't remember dating nice guys. The guy I date have to have attitude. Well, good for you. That's what you like. That's so nice. He's so sweet. Um, like the body of the humans. What do you mean, like the body of the humans? Am I the only one having connection issues? I don't know. Thanks for telling me. Anyone else having connection issues? I only have 4 people on deck, so it's possible that there are connection issues. Russell Crowe, yeah, that's his best movies, is that movie. Anyone else having connection issues? Ta, I don't remember you, but you have an eggplant that you put on deck. Good for you. I'm a nice girl. Are you? Are you really? No, a nice girl that do bad things. Well, good for you. Good for you. Rob, welcome. That was a question. Like the body of humans? I don't understand the question. Like the body of humans. What are you laughing about? Share with me. Got my ex back from no contact less than a week. I think this can be shared. I don't think this is a bad thing. Got my ex back from no contact less than a week ago. Sex is better than ever. Sex is better than ever. I hope so. I hope so. At the eggplant, putting it on deck. Good for you. Good for you. Well, good for you, Taita. Taita, are you a female or a man? I wouldn't even know what that name means. We were talking about sociology. Oh, anthropology. Anthropology is what I was saying. Guy, okay. Well, good for you, man. I get, getting back together. You were in no contact, less than a week. Let me ask you this, Taita. Did you guys fix the problem from the breakup? You know what I'm asking? So what? I don't think sex was the problem, right? Just a question. Rob always has an opinion on this nice guy thing. Rob, what do you think, bud, about this topic? What's the opinion? Shedding nice guy syndrome. Because Rob, you're very into beta and these things. I thought it was about the human body. No, it's called anthropology. Anthropology is the study of human, and I believe there's 3 subfields: archaeology, linguistics, and cultural. I took a lot of cultural anthropology classes where they would study Native Americans or civilizations. And so it's a little bit different than history in that they use, how should I phrase that? Because archaeology is different. Anthropology is the study of humans, though. No, it's not about the human body. Isn't it tied to sociology? It can be. It can be, but it's its own field. If you go to a university, there's an anthropology and there's a sociology department that are separate. I'm sure that they overlap sometimes. I'm sure they overlap, but they are separate. I think there's a clothing company called Anthropology or something, some trendy upscale one. All right. She dumped me because we spent every day together, her pattern, and got bored. Came back as a confident beast, and she wants me like crazy now. Well, good for you. So what were some of the things in 1 week that you were able to become a confident beast? Because you said you did 1 week of no contact and you shifted tides that quick. Give us a little background on what's going on here, Taita. Were you broken up for 1 month, 2 months? Yeah, shedding the nice guy syndrome is necessary. Well, that's good. Fuck yeah, dude. That can make a difference. So yeah, because a lot of times I'm like, people can't change in a week or 2 weeks, but if you're taking some kind of medication that made you a zombie, fuck yeah, that could change things. Well, good for you. Congratulations on that, because I think that less medication is better. It's necessary if a guy is going to get better results in a relationship. However, I find many are in such denial with regard to their nice guy behavior, you can't get through to them. Well, that's a good point, Rob. Um, what I've noticed, and thanks for your opinion on that, Rob. That's good. Um, what I've noticed, if they don't notice it, then the opposite way is that they know that they're like that, but they just are like, that's how I am. I've always been this way. And so then they kind of groove into that they're really good friends with women and whatnot. And I, like I've said before, I have women that are friends. So sometimes people go, you can't be friends with a woman that would be beta. I disagree. But really, in this particular case, if you're getting really bad results with women and you're getting walked over, and as Monica mentioned, being a doormat, then you really need to get some knowledge, read some books, and readdress, because the results from being a nice guy in relationships are harsh. It's indentured servitude, right, Rob? Have you witnessed it with friends? Or Rob, have you ever been a nice guy in the past? Let me ask you that. Ty, what's your take on this nice guy thing? Could we get a idea from you, since we've got 6 on deck today? Yep, there is. Get through to them. So actually, we got 3 or 4. I was a nice guy until she dumped me. I went out and hooked up with a few girls, plus getting off the medication. I feel like a total badass now, and she definitely noticed. Well, good for you. So, nice guy syndrome, add to it. If you're on, check your medications. I'm not a doctor on the internet, so I'm not playing one, but check your medications. Maybe they are making you more of a zombie. But also being able to pivot and hook up with some other women immediately. So you were only broken up for a week? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, slightly when I was younger, pre-YouTube, there was no other info out there and how to correct issues. The reason I asked you, Rob, is a lot of times people that know so much about it and are so strong about it, they maybe suffered a little bit of it in the past or was like that and they were able to overcome it. So I figured maybe that's where you were coming from on a lot of this. Because guys that are just, how should I say, naturally ultra masculine, they were in the Navy SEALs when they were 18, they look at talking about this or talking to another person, they're just like, yeah, I was just like this forever. So they don't understand overcoming it. Tinder is amazing. Yes, a week. Well, that'll be interesting for you, bud. I mean, if Tinder is amazing and you did that much, do you even want to be in a relationship? That's a good question to ask. What's your age range, Taita? If I may ask, if you don't want to tell, you don't have to. Anyone else right now at this point in the live stream, if you have any questions, all questions, recommendations for future live streams, I'm open to it. We can get up off the topic of nice guy syndrome or continue on. If you guys have a past relationship where you've been with a nice guy or your friend's been with someone, secondhand embarrassment, as someone has used that term before. I can't even tell you how many guys that came to me for advice who clearly display a nice guy syndrome, yet refuse to accept the truth. Find ways to rationally deny it, yet continue to repeat mistakes. All right, Rob, I'll bite. Give me an example. Is that fair? Give me an example of one that came to you and they're denying it. Put it into context. And this is the best way for other people to understand. Maybe we can unpack it together. Because if they're not responding to your advice, you got to reset how you're giving them the advice. Because the funny thing is, what's really interesting about this, and I've learned this through coaching, how everyone's an individual. Yeah, give me an example if you have one, if you don't mind. 29, fucking great age, dude. Great age, man. I've never been a nice guy, but I love this girl. She had 2-year-old daughter, I assume, that I love like my own. So I became a nice guy, built a nursery in my house and everything. It was when you built the nursery, you asshole. See, that's what I'm saying is that, isn't that so interesting? You build a nursery. There's good intentions in that. That's a really nice thing to do. And here you're saying like, yeah, I was being too nice. I mean, where's the line drawn? Well, at least you can catch yourself in that moment. You can catch yourself in that moment. I had a friend. I think so. That's what I mean. Sometimes we think, oh, that was just being weaker. There's some nice gestures or things like that, but he's saying that he's not a quote unquote overly nice guy, or he's never suffered that. Okay. Had this friend that continually failed with relationship, clearly a nice guy kind of approach. I suggested Corey Wayne videos. He got back to me a week later telling me to fuck off and stop giving him snake oil. Oh, shit. Okay, so let me give you my take on that, Rob. And I like Corey Wayne. I got respect for him. And I think that people like someone like Corey Wayne, myself, or, Kyle at Masculine Energy or Love Chat, they like to find it themselves. So that you giving secondhand information, sometimes it doesn't work. But that being said, some people can go, oh, yeah, this guy's really cool, or this guy really vibes with me. They have to be receptive from the beginning. I laugh because I knew he was so deeply embedded in beta behavior that he couldn't change. I no longer help people that aren't open to ideas. Yeah, and he used the phrase. I'm waiting. He used the phrase. What's interesting about that is before you give advice. Yes, there you go. Before you give advice, you have to really think of the individual and how they receive advice. And that's why when I go through things, I ask people a set of questions because I need to learn you. I need to learn you as an individual, right? If I don't learn you as an individual, then there's no way I can give you advice in a way that's more receptive to you. Because just some people go, oh yeah, give me the videos. I'll check that out. I'm open to that. Some other people be like, who do you think you are giving me this guy, Corey Wayne, that's, some people would find that really cheesy. And so you lead with good intentions, Rob, and you say, all right, fine, don't try it. That's fine. I mean, here's the thing about YouTube and these kinds of things. I can the Love Chat, I just popped in on one of his live streams. I haven't been in one that was the tail end. Man, he's got a nice production. Shit, man, I was sitting there. It's polished. It's really nice. He's got a personal assistant. He's got music in the background. Talks like Barry Manilow. Hey, yeah, he's got this nice voice going. Good for him. But he made a really good point because what I've stepped into a live stream once or twice before, and I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, because I think Rob's been in the Love Chats live streams, and I think maybe some of you guys have. I feel like maybe half the questions coming in are asking about how he looks. People are like, "Can we ever see your picture? When are we going to see your picture?" And I thought, like I said that before, I thought that was brilliant because it leaves an open loop. But he responded with a really, really good answer. And he said, actually, I don't want it to be about the way I look. I want it to be about the information and the advice. And he said, some people could look at me and say, well, I got this color skin or my hair's not right. And then they can judge the advice secondary. I thought that was a really good point by him. And where I'm going with that with you, Rob, is when you give advice and you send someone a video, they're like, I wouldn't get any advice from YouTube. Or Corey Wayne comes on with his smirk and his shaved head, and the guy doesn't like the way he looks. So I think that can make a difference. But what you'd have to, like, someone like that, first of all, they need to realize they have a problem. They need to identify that they're too nice or they're getting bad results first and foremost, and that they want to change. The first rule of any of this is that the beauty of you going to my website and paying first and being able to watch, I have over 600 videos now. is you can already judge before you talk to me if you want help. Because if you come in non-receptive, or your friend recommended you to a counselor or a couples therapist and you never met that person, it's a lot more difficult than if you watched 20 of Corey Wayne's videos and you're like, I really like this guy, I like the information he gives. And then you go to his website, you're like, I'm going to book a coaching session. And then you go $1,000 an hour. Maybe I'll go to Mac or one of these other guys. Someone just sent me a long email and they're like, they started out with, man, I watch a lot of Corey Wayne. I really like Corey Wayne. They go on. And then they go, I really wish I could do a coaching session with him. But I watched you this weekend for, a couple hours. You seem okay. So I'm going to give you my story. Like he's going to give me a shot as a secondary choice. I thought that was funny. I'm like, this is how you open. In my head, I'm like, I like him too. I like Corey Wayne too. But people like $1,000 for an hour. If he's getting it, and I'll tell you what, when people probably call him up and they pay $1,000, they are on bated breath with notes out and a pen and going, what did you say? Okay. And then afterwards, they're probably going, okay, I'll do that. Because they're actually 100% locked in. There's some value in that. He could literally say, I want you to exercise 5 times this week. Now, is that like holy grail type information? No, but if you paid $1,000 and you highly respect this guy, you're like, okay, I'll do 5 days starting this week. What do you suggest? Corey Wayne goes, elliptical, 20 minutes. I want you to do weights. I want you to do weights. Another 20. The guy goes, okay, sure. I'll do 20 minutes elliptical. Because he paid $1,000 for this information. This is holy grail, right? So he's going to do it. And if he gives him good information, the value is in that guy going, I'm all in. I'm all in, right? The best results when I talk to people are people that when I make suggestions are like, yeah, that sounds good. Or they question the suggestion. And then we come to another idea, another solution. Because when you talk to me in a coaching session or you send an email, it's a discovery mission. You're like, I'm having trouble with this problem. So I want to get some solutions. I want to see what you have to say about this. I want to get your opinion on it. Me saying like, do this, this, and this, and you'll get this result. It's total horseshit, right? Me saying, let me learn something about you, seeing what's going to work for you, and seeing what you should focus on. Now that's value, right? Well, thanks, Ty Todd. Dude, you're better than Corey Wayne. No offense. Well, I appreciate that. I like Corey Wayne, and if I was equal to better in some people's eyes, that's great. And if I was lesser, that's just fine. Everyone's got an opinion, but I appreciate it, bud. Plus, she saw that I was on Bumble, drove her crazy. She thought I was obsessed with her. It took her off guard that I was dating so fast. Just wanted to let everyone know, no contact worked for me incredibly. Well, good for you in 1 week also. And what's interesting about that is I've said this before to people, and getting your ex back. I said, if you put photos up on social media or you go on, I didn't say Bumble. I didn't say Bumble or Tinder or one of these things. But if your ex sees you on one of those things, then you're going to be looked upon as moving forward, and it gets real for them real quick, right? Because they have to make a decision pretty quick. Now, if you're going to do that, it's so hard to say this. Tita or Taita? Sounds like a female name, right? Am I saying it right? Using that as a tactic to get their attention, I don't recommend. Using that as I'm moving forward with my life, and if she finds out about it, it's a bonus. Fine. But I don't like the idea of someone just using it just to get back at someone. The fact that you went on Tinder and it was fun, and you got something out of it, cool, man. And he has a well-respected lawyer, goes to show academic smarts have nothing to do with social relationship smarts. Rob, that is so fucking true. That is so true. Individuals like that too with high credentials rate everyone else on credentials. So if someone has a PhD, it's like, well, this person, doesn't have a PhD. It's like, if I really want to, if you want to judge someone academically, then I would need to see your grade point average. I would need to see the papers you wrote, and I would need to talk to the professors and ask them how good a student you are. But here's the thing, folks, and I've been a teacher for years at the university level, and I've been a student, and I respect the university, and I respect what it offers. And if someone doesn't want to go to university, that's just fine. But here's what I don't like is when people get higher credentials and somehow set the bar at where they're at. That's called grandstanding. And well, I'm this, and if you're not this, then you're not qualified. No, what you did is you picked a lane that was canned education that said, here, I'm going to really learn this, and I'm going to learn this method. And once you learned that method and paid so much money at an institution that was expensive, somehow you thought you were better than other people. That's not true. It's like if I go and play basketball and I shoot a jumper and I have a different technique than you, where I don't jump as high or I'm not as quick, but I make just as many baskets, it don't fucking matter. You follow me? I didn't know it was a tactic, just trying to get my confidence back. Well, and that's the best way. That's the best way, dude. That's what I'm saying is, if you're going to do that and you're going to do it without trying to hurt or manipulate the other individual, where you're like, I got to get back on my feet. I got to get off the mat, and I got to get on fucking offense. I'm not going to play to lose. I'm going to play to win. That's okay. And you're like, that's your way of getting up and moving. Fine. You're 29 years old. You go for it. I never thought she'd come back, honestly. And you didn't sit there and be a victim, right? Are you asking me if I'm understanding, or are you saying you understand? Oh, God. Corey Dwayne's Wednesday, understanding relationships. If you want to, Mary, if you want to see his channel, it's Corey Wayne. Just put in Corey Wayne in the search for YouTube. I think he has 2,000 videos. I can't believe I just checked. I have 680 or something like that. But some of those are unlisted because I send unlisted videos. So I've probably about 600. Corey Wayne's a legend. He's a legend. A lot of respect for him. A lot of respect for him. Someone was saying that someone did a review about his channel, and I came across it recently, and it said, this guy's so Caucasian, it's crazy. And I'm like, who says that, right? And the guy that was doing the review was black. He was like, this guy's so Caucasian. It's like, is that a negative thing? You should know him. You will like him. I don't know him. That's fine. Don't worry about it. Look him up. Everyone always tells me they like the dating guy. You love Max. I've heard outstanding reviews repeatedly. You know who I'm talking about, Rob? I thought that was. Do you think that's like a? How you make a comment like that? Is that? What did you think about that comment, Rob? I was just like, you know, he's like, this guy's so Caucasian. Guilty. Me too. Who are you talking about? The guy that, oh, he's Puerto Rican. Okay, cool. All right. My mistake. My mistake. The statement is uncalled for because I never got that vibe. Whatever. Everyone's allowed to have an opinion. I'm not offended. I thought it was kind of funny, but at the same time, I'm like, what if someone said that about you? You know what I mean? Maybe. Okay. Someone had told me about it, and then, you know, when videos come up to get recommended that you watch them, I just started watching, and it's like, oh, this is the one. He's got, the guy that said it, though, he's got, I think, 80,000 subscribers, so he's popular. Not sure if it was done in humor. Either way, it's just whatever. Yeah, it is, but it is. It's just funny because I was like, so is that a negative thing that he's so Caucasian, or is it just funny? Is it just so not cool to be Caucasian now? You know what I mean? Oh man. Okay. Like I said, he's got a lot of views. He's been around for a while, so it's been around for a while. Like if someone said that to me, they say that you're so Caucasian. I'd be like, yep, I'm European. Okay. YouTube's crazy now. There's just so many things. No, Corey Wayne's the opposite. Oh man. I know what you mean. You love Mech. You love mechs. I know what you're responding to too. Yeah, it's not cool, right? I did not contact naturally. I didn't know it was a thing until I found you. Glad I stuck with it. Oh well, thanks, bud. So maybe a video helped you stay on track or stay with that. That's cool. I'm glad you. A lot of people don't tell me when they get results or something like that. And you know, the first time I used no contact, I didn't use the phrase no contact. I don't know where that came from or where it was invented, but one of the very first videos that was popular that I made was a no contact one, and I just used that don't contact them. I don't know if I don't think I invented that phrase in any way. And whoever did, it's the words no contact are highly used, right? I know, Rob, right? It's each their own. It's an opinion. Let's just take it as a funny statement, right? We don't need to get all upset about it. But like I said, it's no longer cool, right? Basically, you're saying you're a dork in some way. I embrace it. That's good though that you. I would say that I did the same thing in past relationship with no contact. I didn't know the statement, but I did have used to be called the silent game or something like that. Really, someone told me radio silence. Whatever. I just remember when I was in that bad breakup. I had a family member call me that had experience in a breakup years prior, and he's like, "Do not contact her." That's the first thing, and I was like, "What? What?" And I wasn't going to because we're at. Here's the thing: every relationship's different. I know I say that all the time. How you broke up is different, so there is times when you can contact the individual. There are times. There are certain situations where it's like a week or 2 weeks later. I've done live coachings. Yeah, I've never been a beggar. That's just natural. That's just my makeup. Eduardo Martinez. Martinez. How you doing, bud? Luna. So you're the moon today? Welcome, bud. Glad you put your picture up. Some of them expect you to beg. I don't, I remember when I broke up, my situation being 5 years together. Here's the thing too is when you break up, if you're not a couple and you've been together 4 or 5, 6 years and you didn't break up during that time and you had a strong bond, when you break up, it's different than these people that go, oh, we broke up like 4 times the first 2 years. So what you're doing is you're just running a pattern that when you break up that you're going to get back together. You break up after 5, 6 years or 2 years and you never broke up and you had a deep conversation at the breakup that was direct and you knew the problems were there. It's not like you're going to run back and go, yeah, let's just get back together because we miss each other. It's like, no, we've got some real problems and the relationship's changed quite a bit. And so to me, it was like, why? I'm not going to run back because this situation is not changing. I got to figure this out. But begging was never on my thing. No, I think she thought I would be so destroyed that I would be contacting her constantly. Well, you flipped the script on that with Bumble and, you're 29 years old. You're a highly confident individual. You said you're not a nice guy syndrome guy. You got shit going for you. You're willing to take on a woman with a kid and actually build a nursery for her. See how good my memory is? That's a high value individual. And you said to yourself, you know what? I'm not going to sit here and feel sorry for myself. I would say at the same time, though, Ty, I still haven't heard it from you. Be cognizant, whatever the issue was that in 1 week, are you really at, right now you guys are lovey-dovey and you're back together and the sex is great. Good for you. I'm happy for you, bud. I am. But whatever the underlying issues of why you broke up, are those being worked on? Are those workable? Be cognizant of that. Breakup to makeup, yeah. I just haven't been someone that, looking back, if I'm in a long-term relationship, when I say that, 4 or 5 years, even 2-3 years at this point in the 21st century is longer than most. Because there's a lot of people that contact me, oh, we were together 3 months, 6 months. It's like, okay, really? You guys didn't know each other that well yet. If you're past 3 years, that's pretty long-term, and how intense it was. I don't believe in using breakup threats as a way to make up, or I find that as a dirty tactic in arguments to go, well, maybe we should just break up. I've never done that. Never been that way. If it goes there, it's serious. If we get to that point, it's serious. If we're going to cross that bridge, it's serious. It's not like, oh yeah, you want to break up then? Yeah, let's break up then. And then like 24 hours later, you're texting the person. You're like, yeah, let's go. Let's talk about this. Let's do this. Nah, to take it to that level, that gets serious. I was too passive. She was masculine. One, I was so suboxone. Massively lowers testosterone, makes you a zombie. Well, I'm glad that you found the specific area or problem and you took care of it. And probably the breakup had to happen for you to realize that, bud. Well, that's a good question, Rob. I was in it for why? I don't understand that. That's so unattractive. What's so unattractive? When someone uses breaking up as a way to win the argument, I think it's I don't think it's unattractive. I think it's unacceptable. Well, maybe we should just break up. No, we're having a conversation and an argument right now. Let's get to the bottom of this. That's a cop out. I was in it for why. Beautiful day today, folks. Beautiful day today. I'm going to be making some changes to my site pretty soon. Was on, so that's the medicine you were on. Okay. Wean myself off, feel like myself again, a total badass. That's outstanding, dude. I'm not familiar with that medicine, so, but good for you. And that's what it took probably for you to realize, hey man, I need to make some changes. Medicines can affect you, dude. Afternoon, everyone. Good day, Mike. Good day there, Mike. Mr. Luna Martinez, did you have any questions? You have any questions? Go ahead and hop on. We got 11 people. Go ahead and throw a couple likes, if you will, folks, for the algorithm. If you don't want to, then that's just fine. Go ahead, Luna. Shoot, buddy. Anyone that would like to ask questions are open right now. We're all coming up on an hour. I'll probably do another 15 minutes. That girl I spoke to you about earlier texted me again and used a few lines. I want to get your take on it. Sure, Rob, shoot. Too passive is letting her make all the decisions, decide when we banged. Well, here's what I would say. Just because you got together after a week, I would still read a couple books and refresh yourself. Because right now you're a badass. Why don't you double down on it? You double down on it. Some of these books I recommend, I'd suggest you do listen to the audiobooks. Because even though you're in a good place right now, double down while you're in a good zone. Read those books so you don't fall into that zone again. No More Mr. Nice Guy, The Rational Male, Tactical Guide to Women. Pick one and just reacquaint yourself while you're in there. I remember thinking when I broke up, I'm like, damn, I wish I would have read some of these books. But those aren't books I read when I was in a breakup. But I just started knowledge surfing, just surfing up knowledge everywhere. And I was just like, wow, man, I could have used knowing this. Because when you're in a relationship, you're just like, all right, I'm in a relationship. I don't have to try anymore. I don't have to think about this stuff. And you forget about it. The 2 times I saw my ex and hung out in my car outside her place, I sang Love of My Life by Queen. While tears came out of my eyes. She again tweeted yesterday that song without punctuation. We both loved Queen, but she saw me pour my eyes out with that song. I love Queen, dude. Queen's a great band. That was a great fucking movie. That recent movie. So what do you want from this? You want to reaffirm that she's writing these, she's putting these out there as feelers for you to contact her? I mean, any meaning if she keeps tweeting songs that I sang to her? Obviously, she's thinking about you. Have you sent your story into writemac.com? I'd recommend that. I'd have to know more about your story and more about her as an individual and where she's at. But yeah, I would say short answer, she's thinking about you. In what context? I don't know. As in letting go or as in moving on. If I knew your story and where you're at, I could assess if you should even pursue this again. How long you've been in no contact, what actually happened at the end. But my short answer would actually be a question, Luna Martinez. What do you want? Do you want to get back with her? Or the problems that you had because of her or because of you? Do you believe if you got back together, it would be rose petals and wine glasses? Do you believe you'll get along well? Or do you believe that you need some time apart? That'd be my question as an individual, beyond the feelers she's putting out or these songs. Because that's passive aggressive. Some women will do that, and then once you contact them, it's like, oh yeah, he's still interested, but I'm not interested right now. I just want to know if you're still interested to make me feel good. She was texting me using the friend term. I told her that's not who we were before, and then she said this. As for not getting caught up, I agree. However, unaddressed emotions, no matter how ancient, that are never resolved can have a negative impact. It's a deep statement, Rob. I would have to know more information. She used the friend term. So as for not getting caught up, I agree. However, unaddressed emotion. This is what you wrote or she wrote? As for not getting caught up. So she wants to be your friend. You don't want to be friends. Like, give me a little more details, Rob. I'm a little lost. Apparently she has negative vibes for whatever reason. It's been a few years. Bottom line, Rob, you need to get an in-face date and stop. This is my opinion. If you guys can get in person, regardless if she thinks you're a friend or not, okay? So let's just say that I've had this happen before with an ex. Yeah, send your story in, Luna, if you like, because then I can give you a tailored response. Most of the people on here have done it before, but if I answer you like this, it's not going to suit you. I need to know more about your story, okay? Oh, okay, Rob, I forgot your story. Now I remember. Are you revisiting that? You're gonna revisit that, the same one that got pregnant with another guy that was a convict, I believe? I mean, why are you still in contact with that individual? I don't want you to be bitter and hateful, but if you do want to revisit it, Rob, here's my thing. Don't fight the friend thing. Just get an in-person. Okay, well then you need to block her. Okay, you need to block her because any kind of contact with this yeah, okay, I remember. Any kind of contact with this individual is going to re-stir up, even though you're a strong, confident individual, is going to re-stir up ill feelings. And so for you to take your power back, because there's no way you're going to get back with her, right? So her getting your attention and throwing out a line, if you have no plans for that, don't give her any power in the sense of getting your attention and possibly throwing a lure your way. Just block, yeah. And that doesn't mean you hate her or anything. That just means you're moving on and you don't want the ability for, because if she's with a criminal and she's got a baby, she's gonna have some weak moments, and maybe there's some problems, and she's gonna eventually probably contact you, if I had to guess, and say sorry, and say that she wants to get back together, or she might be fishing around. And all this means nothing if you have no intentions of ever revisiting it. You don't want to be a friend and you don't want to get back together. So just block her. That's not harsh. That's not mean. That's just you moving on and saying, I don't want to lend my energy to this situation again. And I'm fully moved on. It'll be a vindication. Because let's say you start dating a new woman and you get a text from this one, and someone like this too, she'll hit you up with her problems, and then you'll feel bad, even though you're not beta, right? And then you'll get sucked in somehow. So just block her. Well, the criminal left as soon as he got her pregnant, apparently. Well, you don't see, you knowing that, a little piece of you, a little piece of Rob that has a heart and compassion is like, that's, even though you're like, yeah, you make a joke out of it, deep down inside, if that was your girlfriend and you cared about her, you feel bad a little bit. And you feel bad about feeling bad, probably. And so it just twists you up. At this point, just block it. You don't want any contact with her. You don't want any contact with her. That's what I would say. Mary, are you still on here? I believe we have to do a coaching, and I don't know if you booked it. I'm going to check really quick. Any questions? Bring them forward, folks. Bring them forward. No. Thanks for the likes. Yes. Okay, Mary, what's going on? Why did you not use the booking chart? Is that difficult to use, the calendar? I've had some other people that have booked live coachings and they are confused by it. Okay. So did you want to use it or not? Was there a problem with the website? Just tell me. Give me some feedback on that, because I'm about to end this. I think what I'm going to start doing with these live streams, when I have time after the end of the live stream, I'm going to offer a live coaching directly after the live stream if someone wants to do it, because I'm on a roll. After a live stream, it's like having coffee. Did you want to talk today, Mary? At least you can laugh about it. Anyone else have some questions, some closing questions here? Anything? Thanks for joining, Rob, as always. You're a lion at the gate. Luna Martinez, welcome. I look forward to receiving your story. I'll get that back to you. Ty Todd, thanks for the success story. That's cool, dude. I'm happy for you. Like I said, double down on some books. This isn't the time to get, oh, everything's done. This is the time to double up and reassess, not just, oh, we got back together, but maybe read a couple books and double down. Monica, if you're still around, thank you for being the first one on. You love Mex. Thanks for joining. I'll be emailing you soon. No problem, Bob. All right, folks. I'm going to close it out. This has been good. Yeah, when we do live coachings, you can always do audio only. That's an option, or FaceTime. Some people don't like to talk. No problem. No problem. I'm going to close it out here. We did an hour and 3 minutes today. This has been outstanding. Thanks for joining, folks. Curtains.